like to welcome us to our class, our financial accounting class. You know, one of the things that I try to do is to understand what a particular subject is all about. So it is wrong for us to be adding topics when someone does not know the definition of what? FA. What is FA? You don't want to ask that question because some people don't have mercy. They are going to imbalance their lecturer. It is a process of recording and summarizing business what? Transactions. Very important. You need to know the definition, at least the description of your subject. It is your responsibility. So today we are getting on to some place which is a little bit tricky, and this particular work today will depend on how we understood our assignments that we could have done. Please, I want you to hand in your assignments. We don't want to participate in any failed project. You know, there's always a failed project somewhere. So we do not want to be part of that failed project. So you must hand in your assignments so that we see where you're struggling, so that we can make some adjustments or help you. Today's lesson is before us. You have your pen in your hand. You want to write something. Trial balance and correction of accounting what? Errors. You understand, eh? Yes. So let me just try to do this. Trial balance and the correction of accounting errors. That is our topic for today. I think by now you should have written something. I'm going to get on to our thought. The trial balance, this is a point that we need to all agree on. The trial balance, we what? Agree. The way we use for what? Balance. Unless there is what? A human what? Which remains what? Undetected and uncorrected. What that means is, when you fail to balance the trial balance, don't come and say, it didn't balance. We will not accept. Do you understand that? There is a reason why the trial balance fails to do what? Agree. And in all cases, the reason is because of what? The operator. Who is the operator? The accountant, right? They could have made a mistake, right? They could have forgotten something. And so today we're going to appreciate some of those things. And what is the objective of our session? We need to be able to identify and correct accounting errors. That is the reason why we have met today, isn't it? Our job today is to do what? Be able, at least on basic questions, and I think I've shared with you some questions. Be able, at least on basic questions, to identify and correct accounting errors. I just wanted to say something there. The problems we are failing to identify would dominate us. Do you understand that? If you fail to identify a problem, be it in your life, that problem is going to dominate you until they bury you. Do you understand that? Yes. So, in accounts, there are certain problems that arise that needs to be identified and corrected. So what is the trial balance? It's a list of what? Ledger account what? Balances. Please let us remember this. Somebody is going to ask you a question. What is your trial balance? It is a what? A list. Somebody is not writing. you going to write it? You're not writing now. You're promising yourself that you're going to take notes later. List of what? Ledger account balances presented in the respective what? Column. The trial balance as a what? As a debit or? Please, let us remember that. I want us to be asking questions as we're progressing in our class. We don't want anyone to remain behind. So why the trial balance? Why do we prepare it? What's the purpose of the trial balance? Number one, to check what? Arithmetic or numeric what? Accuracy of your double what? Entry. The trial balance will enable you to confirm. Remember, the word trial means test. We test the general ledger accounts, the T accounts. You remember in our class we call them T accounts, right? For double entry what? Accuracy using the trial balance. What did we say yesterday? If everything has been done properly, then the trial balance will agree, isn't it? I think that is what we could have said. We said that yesterday, and I don't know if you can still remember. We could have said that yesterday, but I don't know if you are able to remember. Let us see if we can progress. The trial balance is also extracted to detect accounting what? Errors. There will always be an accounting error, no matter how good you are. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So when an accounting error takes place, you need some skills to correct that. Otherwise, somebody will think that you're getting too much. They're paying you too much. That's the last thing. Okay? What else do we have? The trial balance becomes the basis for what? Financial statements preparation. You know what this means? Before you prepare financial statements, you need first of all to extract a trial balance. Steps. Follow the steps. Accounting is all about following the steps. If I am fast, please, you can slow me down, but you can ask a question where you're not clear. Do we have a question? Do we have a question? No question today. Okay. Do you have a question, madam? No question today. Okay, let's proceed to the next slide. The two sides to the trial balance. The trial balance can agree. And what does it mean when the trial balance balances? It means what? Most what? Entries are what? Are correct. Not all. We said what? Most. Most does not mean 100%. Understand. Most will never mean 100%. These are the two sides. We need to know that the trial balance can either agree or what? Fails to agree. What? Meaning, accounting errors must be what? You need to detect accounting errors. You have to identify those accounting errors that have already been detected by your failed trial balance, and you need to correct those accounting errors before what? Final accounts are what? Prepared. What did I want to say there? We're not supposed to be washing dirty linen in public. Why are you not writing? We are not supposed to be washing dirty linen in what? So while I'm explaining all these things, you are taking down some notes, all right? This is how we learn. Don't relax. Don't start saying, I'm going to write later. Make yourself busy. You know what happens when you're not writing? You doze off. You doze off, and then you find that the class is finished. Like one of our colleagues, they studied the whole night. When they went to the exam room, they decided to close their eyes and slept throughout the exam time. When they woke up, their friends were done. So please write something so that, you know, when you're writing, what is happening? You are questioning. You're trying to make sense out of what you're scribbling. Learning requires that you write. If you don't write, you're likely to miss a lot of points. Did you hear that? If you don't write, you are likely to miss a lot of points because you will not be questioning. Because for you to write any word here, it must make sense, right? Yes, it should make sense. So, these two sides of the trial balance must be anticipated. I think the second side here is the one that is problematic. Alright? Even the first one, we said it doesn't mean that when the trial balance agrees, everything is what? Right? Yeah. So it's something, you know, where they're human beings, there will always be what? There will always be sorries. There will always be sorries. And if you don't apologize in your life, there's a problem with you. Ladies, do we apologize when we go wrong? Madam Sona, do you apologize when you go wrong? Yeah. Just apologize and resolve to be different, isn't it? But don't be in the habit of apologizing in order to injure your friend again. You know, there are some people who are like that, isn't it? They like saying sorries, but they don't want to change. So what is the position here? Look at this. When the trial balance agrees, the debit side will be equal to the what? To the credit side. That's what it means. That is exactly what it means. That is exactly what it means. When the trial balance agrees, it means that your debit side is equal to your credit side. That's what it means. That's what it means. That is exactly what it means. Okay? But on the other side, should I proceed? Or you're still writing? You're still writing? Are you done? Okay, if the trial balance fails to agree, what happens? The debit side will not be equal to what? To the credit side. Therefore, you must open a what? This is a place where you're supposed to pay attention. And this is one of the most challenging places in our syllabus. Issues to deal with what? Suspense accounts and correction of what? Errors. We are going to have a fight, but we can't learn suspense account for the rest of our semester. You continue doing it in the industry. You understand that? That's your responsibility there. Alright? You continue dealing with what? Suspense where? In the industry there. When the auditor finds there's a suspense, you, the accountant, you're supposed now to explain what could have gone what wrong. People spend sleepless nights at work trying to resolve the suspense. It comes in most cases as a result of what? Negligence and lack of what? Due diligence, failure to update records. It could also come when you take over from someone who was not updating their books. You understand that? When you're invited for interviews, you should be very careful. Sometimes they want you to replace an accountant who was not good. So you have to clean up the mess. You're not supposed to say the one who was there didn't do a good job. They will tell you that's why we employed you. So please let's remember that. I want us to proceed. The types of errors. We need to discuss these errors today and exhaust these. You need to know these errors. It is your duty to remember the errors. Somebody is saying I may not be able to write all that. So the first error is what? Error of what? Omission. Error of omission. And as I'm giving you this, I want to tell you that it may not be possible for you to grasp these things at once. But what you do, you start practicing. You understand? Yesterday, what did we say? Practice makes what? Perfect. So, error of omission means what? Transaction was completely what? Yes. I'll say something there. I don't know if the spelling has got a challenge. Let me just try to check here. Yes. Maybe we can go the American way. The transaction was completely omitted. There is no record there. What could be the reason for this status? Poor filing. Have you ever heard of filing? Misplaced document. Misplaced document. Where there is no respect for order in the way that you keep your records, you're likely to have an error of what? Omission. It is an error that results from what you didn't do. Did you hear that? It's like a father who was not there. Hello? Mothers, at least they try. But fathers, we have got future fathers in here. Maybe it's too late. Last time we were telling some people, you have to finish your program before you get married. Somebody said, sir, it is too late. I'm already married. So what we're saying is this. Error of what? Mr. Zip. Error of what? Omission. The transaction was completely what? Left out. In other words, there's no debit entry, there's no what? Credit entry. Nothing was recorded in the trial balance. Understand, please. I've tried to explain some of these things the best way I can. Allow me to proceed. What's the next one? Error of what? Commission. What is happening there? We use the what? The wrong account of the same class. For instance, you pay for electricity and you decide to debit the water utility account. Water utility account. That's an error of commission. It is an error resulting from what you did. Error of what? Commission. Error of commission. Okay, use the wrong account with the same class. You buy a motor vehicle and you decide to debit machinery. Error of what? Commission. You should be understanding this. This is a very good foundation for future classes because we're still dealing with what? Double entry. What did I say yesterday? Double entry is perhaps the most what? Important what? Topic, because it has got commanding linkages for succeeding topics. Double entry goes in there. Double entry goes in there. At this stage of our studies, our double entry must be sound. What's the next one? Error principle. What did you do here? You treated revenue expenditure, revenue expenditure, as what? Or you did the opposite. You understand that? Yes. You did, the opposite. So, What is the difference between revenue expenditure and capital expenditure? Capital expenditure is expenditure on acquisition of non-current what? Assets. You remember yesterday we could have touched on that. When you buy land, when you buy motor vehicles, when you buy computers, you are incurring what is known as what? Capital what? Expenditure. But now, if you buy a motor vehicle and you say this is an expense, let's put it in the profit or what? Or loss. You're committing an error of what? Principle. You're committing an error of principle. It is like calling a woman a man and a man a what? A woman. You remember the gay community? So let me put it on record. We are sharing this online. I don't subscribe to such kind of thinking where John wants to get married to Luke. Eh? Mr. Z, is that normal?
Normal.
Eh?
Normal.
It's abnormal. Very abnormal. We must frown upon certain things. We're not going to accept. But anyway, it could be abnormal until it happens in your family. Eh? What should they do with your brother if he wants to marry another brother? Should they kill him or leave him?
Chase him.
Where are you going to chase him? We have just got one earth. Where are you going to chase him? We have just got one earth. There should be a safe haven for gay people. There should be a country just reserved for those people. Right? They will not stay long. Won't they? Let's proceed. There's what we call double reversal or entry reversal what? Error. Double reversal or entry reversal error. Why? Because when this error takes place, you may have to multiply the figure that is involved by what? By 2 and pass the correct what? Entries. Very important. Now let me say this. In a double reversal error, you have changed it. You have what? Mixed the entries. Let us think about it. What is a double entry for a cash purchase? Very simple. Let's identify the accounts. Cash account and purchases, right?
Yes.
So now let's do the double entry. When you buy using cash, what's a double entry?
Cash, debit, purchases.
Good. Now do the opposite.
Debit, cash, credit.
Behave as if you're receiving money when actually you're losing money, isn't it? And behave as if you're reducing an expense when you're actually increasing one. So what we're saying is that to give rise to an entry what? Reversal what? In other words, the entries must be what? Reversed for you to be safe. Do you understand that? Nangopaka manje information. Information is this manje? Is a pack. I can see someone is now saying, where are we going? What more where we are going? So please, no one should cheat you. FA is what? Involving. But it is also what? Interesting, isn't it? Can you please proceed?
Yes.
Compensating what?
Error.
Error. Slap me, I'll slap you hard. That's called what? Compensating. I know the people from this class don't commit this error. Do you? When somebody insults you, do you insult back? Because we're in class, no one can be honest enough to tell us what happens. Compensating error means those errors that cancel themselves out have what? Occurred in your trial balance, on both sides of the trial balance. You understand? These are errors which cancel out. Errors which cancel out. Let's think about it. If you overstate your trial balance by 1,000 on the left side and another 1,000 on the what? Right hand side. What happens? You have got a what? A compensating what?
Error.
Because the trial balance still what? Balances. In fact, now I'm thinking about it deeply. This entry reversal error is a type of what? Compensating what? Error. Because even if you interchange the what? The items that you post on the accounts, the amount will still be the what? The same. Understand that. Understand that. So please, compensating error will happen and we need to deal with it. What's the next one? Do we have a question? Let's ask questions if we have. Is there a question? Is there a question, sir? No question. Okay, let's proceed. Error of what?
Original entry.
Original entry. What has happened here? Now, we need to remember what happens in the day books. Before we push items in the general ledger, where do we put them? In the day books, isn't it? Now, it is possible that a mistake could have happened where? In the day books. Either an overcast, meaning overstatement, or what? Undercast. Now, if you get that number, which is wrong, you understand? And push it in the general what? Ledger. You have got what we call error of what? You will be dealing with garbage in, garbage out. Meaning, if the numbers in our day books are wrong, then the numbers in our what? General ledger cannot be correct. Error of original what? What does it mean? Wrong. So here the quotation is what? You use the wrong one. Very important. Are you going to remember all these things? It is your job. Now you are the guys who are learning FA. Don't come and tell me no problems zanga pakamaninga. You don't have, if Malawi did it, we can also what? Yes. In fact, what we're giving you in class are the things that you need to concern yourself with. We're not wasting time on things that do not matter. All right? Let's proceed. Next one. So, what is the reaction to these errors that we've just left? Errors 1 up to what? 6. Do not open. Did you hear what I said? This is the time when you need to thank God that you're in class. Errors 1 up to 6 will not affect the what? Will not affect the what? Do you understand that? Meaning that if you don't know how to identify errors, you are gone. You are gone. Because you'll be opening the suspense account when it is not what? Necessary. You are gone. You are literally gone. So, do not open the suspense account. There's an exclamation mark there, isn't it? Identify affected what? Accounts and pass what? Journal entry. Very important. Yesterday somebody was asking, shouldn't we do a journal? I don't know if they're in our class today. Somebody, we'll be covering huge chunks of information in our class because of the way the world is going. Because you never know what the government will do. Are the cases still increasing for COVID? They're increasing, right? If the cases are still increasing, one day the government will simply say, no physical what? So what should we do to help ourselves? Do as much work as possible. So those guys who like missing class, anyway, there's a recording that will take place. I just hope that they have got enough discipline, because I think when you talk about recording, many people don't have the discipline to sit on the phone and start writing alone. They just don't have it. And I don't know why it is like that. Let's proceed to other types of what? Errors. Now these other types of errors will affect the suspense account. The first one is what? Error of what? Single what? Single entry. What does it mean? Single means what? From today on. We have heard of those people who don't know what to do when it comes to marriage, but they want to get married at 50. That's an error of what? Single what? Yeah. Who is going to keep your children? At 60, your child will be what? 10 years, Hello? We don't want to go there. But error of single entry means only one account was what? In other words, in our financial accounting class, what are we saying? The double entry was not what? Completed. The double entry was not completed. The double entry was not completed. It happens all the time. When you remain as a single parent, it's very sad. Because there will be other things that you cannot do for the children. You wish that your friend was there, isn't it? So, Only one account was updated. The next one is what? Transposition what? Error. What does it mean? Digits were interchanged in a given number. For instance, in one account you could have written what? 109, which is correct, right? But in another you wrote what? 910. But what can you see? What is in common between 109 and 910? The digits, right? The digits are the same, but they have been put on different what? Positions. Can you see that? They've been put on different positions. They've been put on different positions. Can this happen in the workplace? And the answer is yes, because we have got boyfriends and girlfriends who disappoint each other on a daily basis. Do you understand? So if you have got stress, what will happen? There will be an interchange. Hello? Who is stressing you? There will be an interchange where? In what? Digits. Especially those guys who like saying, I can't eat because I've been disappointed. What has the food got to do with the disappointment? Eh? Ladies, what does hungry lion got to do with a disappointment? There's nothing, eh? You go and eat your hungry lion. Eh? Go and eat. And drink your nice drink there, Mr. Zeph. Isn't that good advice?
That's a good one.
We don't want to hear no Neo Napita Yonse Admin Zizira. Yes, it's an appointment. Send us this. Good for all my students. Let's progress to the next one now. What's the next error? Double what? Or what? What does it mean? Both. Both means what? At least two. Both accounts are what? Debited or what? Is it possible? And that's a fundamental error in what? Double entry, right? In double entry, what do we say? Apart from maintaining the figure, if one amount goes to the debit, another one should go to the what? So in this case, what did you do? This is actually another example of an entry reverse or what? Error. Because again, you have to multiply the figure by what? By 2 in order to correct the problem. Alright? Finally, different debit and what?
Credit.
And credit. Different amounts were posted to the two sides of the TV, for instance. On one side you put how much? 1,200 kwacha, but on the other side you forgot a 0 because your girlfriend has disappointed you. We don't have people with girlfriends there. They are looking as if they are surprised by what I'm saying. But the issues of life will stress you. What you need to do is to understand that human beings will always make what? Mistakes. It's the word of sorries. Are you done writing? Are you done writing? Are you done writing? Thank you very much. Allow me to go to the response to the errors. 7 out of 10. I hope by now you can see that you have got the responsibility of grappling with how many errors? 10 errors. 10. The number of your fingers. I've seen people who've got 6 fingers, but I think ordinary 10. Listen to this. When you are able to identify that the errors you are dealing with are falling in between errors 7 up to what? 10. You must what? There's a need actually. You must open a what? A suspense account. This time around. So what is the key? Identification. What is the key? And how do you become better at identifying? Because the language of the examiners is similar. You practice many what? Questions. Identify the affected account other than, because one of the affected accounts in this case will be what? The suspense what? Account. You understand that? So meaning that the journal that you're going to pass here should also include the suspense what? Account. Very important point that you need to remember, that you must remind yourself on in this case. Do we have some questions on what has been discussed so far? Madam Sonda? Not now. Are you done writing? I hope you're done writing. So, by the way, I've written a book on these notes that I'm giving you. So, if you're interested in the details, you can come and see me at your own time, of course. Let's now look at this. The mind exercise is sorting out the suspense problem. Huh? We need, when we are faced with a suspense account problem, we need to ask ourselves the question, hello? That's the first question, eh? What happened, right? Secondly, what should have happened? Next, what should I do to correct the what? This is very good. Even in life you apply. What happened? Daddy was a poor man. You understand? What should have happened? Daddy should have been what? A rich man. A rich man. Don't get used to problems. In fact, no one can get used to problems. Can you get used to problems? No. Then next, what should I do in order to be different? That's enough. Hello? Don't miss your classes. There are certain people, when you put them behind a desk, they do it. What do we use? That word that we use, Mr. Zefe. We use a word in Nyanja, azwenga. Ukamweka mklasi, azwenga. Ukamweka pa business, sankara pamoja. When you give them money, so please, we need to be different. I feel that the most important step here is this one. Did you hear what I said? Yes. The most important step is the third what? Step. Did you hear that? Whether your daddy was poor or not, you're supposed to be hardworking in life. Do you understand that? Whether there was an error or not, what we know is that we're supposed to have correct what? Figures. Very important. Very important. And this, what did I write here? It's a killer punch because most students don't want to think about it. And they find the suspense account questions to be problematic. Are we done writing? Are we done writing? Okay. So what is this animal called the suspense account? It is a temporal account that is used to do what? To correct errors detected by, hello? By the trial bankers. Very important point. It is a temporal account, meaning it should not be included in your final accounts. Did you hear what I said? It should have been cleared by the time you're coming up with final. Do not wash dirty linen in what? Even the witches, they know, eh? When do the witches go and do the wrong things? When no one is seeing, eh? Because when you see them, there'll be fire in the village. This suspense account can also be used to hold what? Information for an unknown account. For instance, if we have got two clients with the same name and one of them sends us money, we have got I used to have a friend called Nasrili Bandai. I've got two guys whose names are what? Nasrili what? Bandas. Both of them are your what? Clients. and then someone sends what? Let's say Airtel money, and it's written Nasrere what? Bundle. And you've got the two accounts in your system for the two Nasrere bundles. What should you do? Before you update, you need to inquire first, isn't it? So before you inquire, what do? You put the money in the what? Suspense what? Definitely your bank will be what? Debited, or your cash will be debited. But since we don't know which Nasrere banda sent us the money, we have to credit what? Suspense what? Account. Very important. All right. I hope that somebody is getting something. Can I proceed? Are you done writing? Okay, there was a paragraph there. I hate paragraphs, but it looks like in that case I didn't have a choice. I also hate paragraphs. So, do we have questions? Backbenchers. Do we have questions on what we have heard? There's only one person at the back. Do we have questions on what we could have heard? Any questions? Apart from why did I start accounts? Any questions? There's some people who don't know what they want. We just come and ask you the question, why did I make a mistake? That was a waste. Accounts was a waste mistake. I hope that you did your research. Before you start something, you must investigate. Do you understand that? You must investigate. Okay, so I think this is the time now for doing what? A question. We have talked too much. Let us see if there is a question that we can look at here together. I've already sent you something just now. Example 2. What is this now? Are you able to see this one? Example 2 says, after investigation into the imbalance of the trial balance above. Okay, this one has got to do with what happened on top. Allow me to proceed here. Can I go here? Let me go to example number 3, all right? And I hope that I'll survive. What's the name of this person? Sheila, isn't it? Has prepared her trial balance for the year ended 31st May 2010. That does not balance. A suspense account was opened with a difference of how much? 2812. Are you seeing that? And they have mentioned credits. On further investigation, the following issues were discovered. Let's now look at the requirement down here. And it's a comprehensive question, eh? This is a question that is a type of question that is likely to be examined under Zika. But it's still okay for those who are doing multiple choice questions, because it is better to have a full question than to have one multiple choice question that is trying to just check on a particular snapshot of a syllabus. All right, let us look at the requirement. It says, prepare the journals to correct these issues and enter any relevant entries into the suspense account to do what? To clear it. Are you understanding? So we have to queue how many beds? 2 beds with what? 1 stone. So I'm going to be doing the journals, and I'm also going to be doing the suspense as well. So we are seeing here 2812 credits. You open your suspense account. Can you open the suspense account? All right, here, suspense. Let me just try to do this. I think yes, suspense. Are you able to see what I'm writing there? What I'm typing? You can see. You can see, right? There is the debit here. Then this side there will be what? Credit, right? Okay. I think My sales here are quite huge. So how much was in the trial balance? 28 what? Can you see that? And maybe I can drop it here because we need to put dollars. Is that correct? That's all here, dollars. Okay. Have I done the correct thing? Okay, so let me just remove that. We push some of these items on the other side. Tomorrow is another day. And tomorrow, all things being equal, should be in class at 8 hours. So please ensure that you are present as we are doing some of these things. Okay, so the trial balance, okay, I think I was okay. Trial balance figure is 2812. So let's begin to go through the transactions there. We're identifying the account to do what? To debits, and the account to do what? To credit, right? So the first item, what do we have? Yes.
3,500 was entered into the bank and computer equipment was 350.
What type of error is that?
Original.
Error of original, because the amount is the one that is what? Wrong there. Can you see that? We understated the amount to enter there. So what's the difference between 335 and 350? Come again? 3150. Now understand this. Which accounts are affected in this case?
Bank account.
And computer. So what do we do with the computer? We debit with the difference, right? So you say debit computer. Did you say in a suspense account here?
No.
Okay, so you said 3150, right? And then we do what? Credit. Credit what? Bank. With how much? I hope you can see that. Okay? I hope that you can see that.
No, debit computer credit bank.
Oh, I've included a D instead of a C. Okay, thank you very much for that correction. Next. What's the next one saying? So we never saw any suspense, right?
No.
The next one says what? If you can see on the board there, you can read. People don't want to squeeze their eyes. At the end, Shayla had not yet depreciated her computer equipment. Her policy is to depreciate equipment at what?
25%.
25%, reducing balance with the proportionate charge in the year of acquisition. So, what are we to do? It is the same depreciation relates to the computer, right? So identify the accounts. Now this, we are going ahead of ourselves because we have to deal with depreciation. But what is 25%? Of 35. 8 what?
875.
Thank you. So what you do, you identify the journal. So debit. This one, don't blame yourself if you can't get it at one side, because we haven't done what? Depreciation, So debit depreciation expense. Deep expense. And credit what? Isn't it accumulated You said the 35 by 25%, right? 875. So, yes. Did you see any effect on the suspense? Nothing, isn't it? I'm going to just do one question today, and this is 928, right? And close. Tomorrow we are looking at what? VAT. Should I introduce VAT?
Yes.
Somebody will say. So we can discuss VAT in terms of theory, and tomorrow we'll do some questions. Is that okay?
Fine.
Yes. Proceed. The next one. Point 3. What do you have?
The payment for stationery for cash of 440
Yes.
was debited to the stationery account
As.
780.
What type of error is that? Different debits? Different what? Credits. So what is the problem here? There's nothing wrong with cash. What is wrong?
The
Stationery has been overstated, isn't it?
Yes.
By how much? Find the difference, please. Stationery expense has been overstated.
340.
340, right? So what do? We reduce the stationery expense by how much? By 340. And then suspense automatically, you debit. Do you understand that? So you say debit, suspense, is that correct? With how much? 340. And then credit, stationery. With how much? Yeah, Excel does not check us spellings. So the English students in here will give us trouble. So now it is at this juncture. It's juncture, right? It is at this point where we have to populate, where we have to post the suspense. So where do we take that figure, 340, in the suspense on the debit side? Do you understand? And the narrative is what? Stationery. Say stationery here. It's supposed to be like this, stationery. There's E, right?
Yes.
I think I've written a wrong one there. These guys from UK are going to be on me. Currently they are on their Prime Minister for attending a party during coronavirus time. Okay, so 340, you put that. I can see that there's some hope there. Let me just change this. It's supposed to be E, isn't it? Next. What's the next one say?
Inventory
Yes.
purchased for 1,000 on credit has been posted to rent and rates.
What type of error? What type of error? You see, when you're dealing with inventory, you're dealing with purchases, right? So what type of error is this? Error of commission. That's correct. So what do? Simply, we debit purchases and credit what? Rent and rates. Have I mentioned the suspense? No. I haven't mentioned the suspense. So say debit in this case, purchases with how much? 1,000. And then credit rent and what?
Sorry, sir, you only mentioned the suspense
when the error relates to the last four. To the last four. You understand, The last four. Do you remember the last 4 errors? Do I expect you to remember? Error of single entry? What is that? What else is there? Yes. Next. What do you have? 5.
Discounts given to credit customers as a reward for any payment of 1,310 has been recorded on the wrong side of the discounts allowed by the account.
Discounts given to credit customers as a reward for early payment. This is early payment discount, has been recorded on the wrong side of the discount allowed ledger account, meaning credited, right? Remember, discount is an expense.
Yes.
Discount is an expense. An expense of who? The supplier. When you give a discount, you're losing money. Do you understand that? So in this case, what happens? We have got a double credit because you credited the customer's account when you gave them the discount, and you have also credited what? Discount what? Allowed. So in this case, what you do, you have to multiply the figure by what? By 2 and correct that. What are we supposed to do in the discount allowed account? We're supposed to debit, eh? Yeah, so it is automatic. So you come here, you say, debit discount allowed, eh? You say, how much was the amount there?
1310.
1310 by 2. How much are you getting?
2620.
26 what? Thank you. And then we credit our very own. If you can't remember an account, then it means we are dealing with what? Suspense. Our very own. Okay. How much do you have? The same figure. Just a moment. Yes. 26 what? 2620. So the suspense is getting worse, eh? The suspense is getting worse. The suspense is getting worse. All right, so let us proceed to the next. What do you have here? Discount what? Discount allowed. How much is it? Say 26 what? 2620, right? Yes, that's what you do. This is how you populate this the account there. What's the next statement saying?
Commission receipt 125
Uh-huh.
has been recorded as a debit in the commission receipt account.
Income treated as what? An expense. Did you hear that? Income treated as what? An expense. Again, we're supposed to multiply the figure by what? So the commission should actually the commission account should actually be posted with twice that amount to cancel out the initial what? Wrong debit entry. Do you understand? To cancel out. So how much do we have? 125 by 2. Ndiye ameneza organiza hapa so manje mwansokoneza pamene mwakambati. All right, let's progress. I think I need to leave myself with a line here. Which account do we debit suspense automatically? With how much? 250, right? Then the commission account should be credited with twice the amount, eh? You understand? How much? To what? 250. So in the suspense, where do we put that? On the debit, eh? Say commission. Commission received, right? 250. You need to understand, did I bring this one here? We are saying twice because initially in the commission account, we are supposed to put the figure where? On the credit, right? We're supposed to put 125 actually on the credit, right? But we put it where? On the debit. So for us to have 125 on the credit, we're supposed to multiply this figure by what? By 2, so that the first 125 this side will cancel out, eh? Will cancel out this one, eh? You understand that? And then the other 125 will do what? Will be what should have been there in the first place. That's why we are saying multiply by what? By 2. It's very important for you to understand that part. Okay, so let us see if we can conclude. There's some hope. We have posted on the lesser side, eh? That amount. Where are we going from there? Rentals, eh? What happened?
Rental income 3742.
Uh-huh.
Only been recorded in the bank
What type of error is that when you use the word only?
Single.
Single entry. Do you understand that? Yes. So what are we supposed to do to correct the problem here? We're supposed to credit rent. It's as simple as that. Yeah. You're supposed to do what? Because it was not what? Credited in the account. So what do? Credit rent and debit what? Suspense. It is as good as that. So we come here. Tumaoneka simple ngati tilivambire. I'm also benefiting from what you're telling me. So debit suspense. All right, are you there? How much?
3742.
3742. And credit what? Credit rental. Rental income, right? With how much? 37. We proceed. So here we write rentals, eh? Is that correct? Okay, rental income. There's an accountant in this place. He believes in these things so much. 37 what? 42, eh? Now there's some hope, eh? You can see now, at least the suspense is what? Reducing. The difference between the two sides is what? Reducing. All right. Can I proceed?
Sure.
The next one says, the debit side of the utility ledgers account has been undercast by how much? Utilities. So utilities is an expense, right? So what do? We debit and then credit suspense, right? Yes. Let's go and do the journal first. If the only thing that you are hearing is can I proceed, you ask a question, please. Don't shy away. So debit, utility, right? And then credit what? With how much? 600 is there. Also here 600. So in my suspense, I want to take 600 there. 600 there. All right, guys, let's go there. Where are we taking the 600 here? On the credit, eh? We call it what? Utility, isn't it? Surprises must be restricted to class. So it is okay to be surprised in class. Because when the surprises go to the exam room, there will be a terrible problem. Kudabwa kufutika kusalira mchani mu class. Na ifya kudabwa tikakupeleka mu mchani mu exam. You'll be in the wrong exam room. So please, you ask questions, eh? If these things that we are doing do not make sense to you. 9. Sharer made cash drawings of how much? In the this has been recorded on the credit side of the purchases account, but correctly posted. But correctly posted where? There's a problem here. She treated drawings as what? She almost actually treated drawings as an expense. She almost did that, but she even made another mistake because there's also another problem inside that statement. There's a double what? Credit. Can you see that? There is a double what? Credit. So how many accounts are going to be affected? I think there'll be about 3, if I'm not mistaken. The suspense will be affected, the drawings, and also the what? The purchases. Can you do this the same? Let's try to do what we're supposed to do. Correct the position, eh? For you to be a woman worth of your salt. Don't just complain. Or after complaining, at least do something about it. Eh? Let's do it. 400 is the amount, eh? So let's begin now. We reverse. Yeah, I think he's right. Let's begin. We reverse what? This is number what? Number 9, eh? So debit purchases, because we were not supposed to credit purchases, right?
Yes.
400. Then debit drawings, eh?
Yes.
Is that correct? Cash taken for personal use is what? Drawings. And then credit what?
Suspense.
Good. I think I should go to the farm now. Eh? Should I go to the farm so that you can be sending me Airtel money, you guys?
How much error is this?
This is a double credit. In essence, it's a double credit. Both accounts, even the wrong account, the purchases account was also what? Credited. Yeah. So can we please proceed? We go now to the suspense and we credit, right? Suspense, we credit here. What's the name? What we're going to do here?
Drawing.
We put purchases and drawings, eh? So, but if you want, you can just do a shortcut. You put 800. I think was just understand because what very abnormal condition. You know, the exam is an abnormal what? Condition. 3 hours you have to remember how many topics? Don't number them. Someone will be scared. Don't number them. Just leave us alone. Eh? We said we're supposed to do that. So this is a breakdown of the 800. Eh? Is that okay? Next, we now conclude. What are we to do? A contra made between the trade payables and trade receivables control accounts of 1 to 50 has been debited to both what? Accounts. Now what is a contra? A contra arises when a receivable is also a payable, when a customer is also a what? A supplier. Is it possible for you to supply your what? Your suppliers? Yes, that's a good one. Is it possible for you to sell to your suppliers? Yes, it is. Don't say no, it is not. That's why there was barter. There was barter. In barter, you are doing a what? A contra. Are you not supplying each other? So if you think that the Inshava has got more value, you ask for more bags of what? Maize. Do you understand that? So it is possible that your landlord can be your customer, especially if they like plating air. The house is how much? 250, and you also charge what? 250. Who is supposed to pay the other? No one. You just do a what? A contra. Do you understand that? You just do a contra. Okay, I want us to see if we can. This one, of course, is again coming ahead of us. I would like to apologize in advance, but I think I'll try just to do the double entry. It looks like the debit entry in the payables is correct. Do you understand? But the debit entry in the receivables is what? Wrong. So what we're supposed to do is to correct this situation. We are going to credit our receivables by twice the amount. Do you understand? Yeah. So what is 1,250 by 2? 1,250 by 2 Nizingat? 2,500, eh? Good. So let's do the work. We say debit suspense, eh? Is that correct? There we go. This is 10, eh? Debit suspense. What is it? 1,250 by 2, right? You said 2,500, right? And then credit what? Receivables. By what? The same amount, isn't it? 2,500. So where do we put the suspense? On the debit side, eh? We call it receivables, right? On the debit side. Say receivables. Is your suspense balancing? Now we have to check. If we fail to balance, don't say the lecture has failed. We are doing this together, isn't it? We just have to close, and next time we shall do more, isn't it? We are not here for what? Anything other than what? Principle. I'm finding 6832. What about on the other side? How much are you finding?
Correct.
It's the same? 6832. So you have cleared the suspense and you're good to go. All right? So now, an introduction. I know those who are going to be watching this will feel tired, but it's not our fault. We need to cover as much ground. Just an introduction, theory part of sales what? Tax or VAT. Do we know VAT? This is FA. And this is the one. There are two of them. There are two FAs here. It's this one. Because the other one I corrected it. So, do we have any questions on the suspense account? So let's again do the ceremony. Welcome to our class. This time around, we want just to have an introduction to what? This topic, accounting for what? Sales tax. Let's begin with that nice question. Why is tax necessary if it is? I hope we have got UPND supporters in here. Yeah, we should have a lot of them because they're the ones who change government. Why do you think the UPND government needs tax? The man is laughing. Apart from the problem of corruption, tax remains important. You understand, eh? Tax remains what? Important in our... In fact, it is very difficult to think about how to manage government without collection what? Collection. Msongo. You call it Msongo? Msongo funiga. Why? Because even if you're a chief and you have got a serikali, you need to collect something, tribute. You used to call it tribute, in the old days, so that you can pay your soldiers. Otherwise, the soldiers will come and burn your heart. This chief is not serious. So please let us remember. Today our focus is on VAT. I wanted to say that there are different types of what? Taxes, But today we are focusing on what? Value added tax. See, now the computer is tired. And it is a consumption tax. You understand, It is a consumption what? Tax. Okay. So I was updating the other one. Let me just check this other one. I don't know why they have come same time. Okay. Accounting for VAT. Why is tax necessary? So our focus today, we want to acquire knowledge on how to do what? Compute and account for what? Sales tax, or what we call value added what? Tax. Why tax? Again, tax will assist government in what? Raising what? Funds to meet national budget requirements. Do you understand that? Yes. To meet national budget requirements. You know, people don't have respect for anyone. So if the person who you have put in power does not have authority to do what he's supposed to do, there will be mayhem. We need tax to finance recurring government expenditure. Do you understand that? But I think VAT can be used as a tool to control it, inflation. Do you understand that when you include VAT in the price of something, the price goes up? But we know that when goods are very cheap, there will be too much what? Demand as well, isn't it? And if there's too much demand, what will happen? The other guys are going to take advantage and increase the what? The prices. So please let us remember, they don't ask you this in financial accounting, but you need a background. Do you understand that? You need a what? Background of what we discussed here. So let's discuss some points here and there. Sales tax attributes. Number one, this tax is a consumption type of a tax. When do we get to pay this tax? When we buy goods or what? Services. Consumption tax. Consumption tax. You understand? Consumption tax. Okay. Secondly, this tax, if it is a consumption tax, it will be paid for by consumers of what? Valuable supplies, valuable taxable supplies or services. So when you go to ShopRite to buy your bread, I should think bread is taxable, right? You normally see on the receipt there that what is increasing in price? 16%. I think that's what is taking the bread to. Now it's 15 kwacha, 20 kwacha. Yesterday I was asking someone in town, how much is your bread? They said 20 kwacha. Now it's double the price. Just recently, bread was 5 kwacha. These are some of the things that the New Deal government must grapple with to reduce the price of what? Basic what? Necessities. Do you understand that? So that you can make the life of the common man easy. Because the common man does not owe you anything. He should have been given the opportunity to lead to anyone, isn't it? What he wants is things to be done, not excuses. You understand? But African leadership is characterized by what? Sindini. No, Sindini. So we have got trouble. Next, this tax can only be collected by who? Registered what? We call them RRTs. Of course, for you to register, you need to meet certain what? Conditions. Do you understand that? You're not just supposed to run in a business and say, I want to register. They'll ask you serious questions there. So one of the conditions is that your sales revenue for the full year must be 800,000 and above. I've not heard about any changes on that. Or per quarter, your sales revenue should be how much? How many quarters are there in a year? 4. So what is 800,000 divided by 4? It is only 200,000. So if every 3 months your revenue hits 200,000, you're supposed to register for VAT on a compulsory basis in our country. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. But you can also register on a what? Voluntary what? Basis, so that you can have added advantage when it comes to bidding for works, especially with institutions. This tax is administered by who?
Tax authorities.
In Zambia? What is ZLA? Yena mswasi. Ili paseli hapa. ZLA tata uzachia. Aha. Every accountant wants to go there so that you can be where the stream of money is passing. That body is mandated with the task of raising revenue for the treasury. Do you understand? For the treasury. So they have got their own rules. This tax in Zambia, at least we should know the standard rate of tax in Zambia is what? 16%. Standard means by default, the rate of tax, VAT, value added tax in Zambia, is what? 16%. But the Zambian government, in order to, stir up economic activity within an industry or a market, they can say for traders within this market, the VAT will be reduced. Because remember, VAT increases the selling what? Price, disadvantaging us in terms of business, right? So you can charge at reduced rate, let's say what? 10 what? 10% or at 0 what? 0 rate, which is a number. You know 0 is a number? Those who are teaching children how to count, don't start from 1, please. Hello? Don't start from 1? Those who are teaching children how to count. Let's proceed, and we are going to be done very soon. There is what we call exempt what? Exempt supplies. These do not attract VAT and should not be included in the what? In the return. You know, ZRA tells you what? Before you pay us, show us how you are arriving at the amount that you are paying. Do you understand that? So what's the difference therefore? And you're going to learn this in tax. What's the difference between zero-rated supplies and exempt supplies? The difference is zero-rated supplies can be included in the VAT what? Return. Do you understand? Whereas exempt should never be what? Included. In other words, for zero-rated supplies, the government is still deciding whether to take them to standard what? Rate or not. The government has got the right to do that, isn't it? They keep on issuing changes made to the VAT regime or the tax regime. They tell you what they've done. All right, let's proceed. I've already stated traders can register on what? Or voluntary what? Explain again. If your sales are above 800, you are supposed to register, whether you like it or yes. But if your sales are below, you can register, but on a compulsory what? Not on a compulsory, but on a voluntary what? Basis. You can volunteer. But remember, registering for VAT will attract additional administration costs for your business. Do you understand that? Additional administration. It means that yes, you can ask. Voluntary and the compulsory.
No.
Additional.
Oh, additional cost. Yes, it means that now every month you're supposed to be, paying VAT. You understand? With ZRA every month. Supposed to be preparing a return. And if you don't have the knowledge of how to do that, you're going to have to ask what? An accountant or even an expert. Are they going to do it for free? You see? I charge my time. Let's proceed. The next one. The bad idea. So I think the lawyers and the economists and the accountants, this is the idea that they give out to us. A business is an economic what? Unit. Do you understand that? It sources for what? Raw materials or indeed inputs, isn't it? But it also sells what? Goods, finished goods, right? We call that what? Output. Very important. So, when you buy goods as a business, you pay for what we call? You pay input. This one you are paying. But when you sell, you collect. Do you understand? What do you collect? Understand. When you pay 50 kwacha in terms of VAT and collect 100 kwacha, the government says, do not pay us everything. Pay us the difference. You understand that? As long as you're registered. You say 100 minus what? How much you owe the government? Yes. When you delay to pay the government, they will charge you penalties. Did you hear what I said? When you delay to pay the government, they will charge you penalties. Let's see this again. We emphasize. When output tax is more than input what? Tax. We have what? VAT payable. We're supposed to pay the difference to who? Yes. ukaenda kusevenza kuja usasifusa fusa makwekeza yali basic. These are the things that this is training. Did you hear what I said? It is just that we are not at a hotel. This is what? This is training. So what you're learning here should minimize problems at your workplace. There is what we call incompetence. Eh? Okay, they don't know that. There is what we call what? Incompetence. So what you're learning here minimizes challenges. When input tax, the opposite now, exceeds what? Output tax, the government owes you what? Yes. Does it happen in Zambia? I'm told it happens. Don't worry. The refund is good because even if you don't get it, it will reduce your future tax what? Obligations. Do you understand that? Yes. To reduce your future tax obligations. I'm also tired. I thought that this would end soon. Someone is still writing, but this gentleman has put his hand in the pocket. He encouraged the lecturer to type again. You know, some lecturers don't even type. They just come and start speaking so that you can be forced to write. But I think using eyes and ears is very helpful. What is important is to do it. Jot down 1 or 2 points, all right? Okay, progress. Let us look at the VAT structure. We shall be using weights in our class. And these weights must be mastered. There is what we call VAT what? Inclusive. And VAT what? Exclusive. Did I put them on the right side? I think I interchanged them. Let me just change. I think I interchanged these ones. These ones here, which have got. So let me just change my computation here. All right. This is 100 plus what? Plus 16, right? And then whatever we do, the number should be the same, right? Mm-hmm. We said in Zambia, what is the standard rate of VAT?
10%.
Yes. So I'm just going to remove this, and I'll be safe. So when we say VAT inclusive, we mean amount with what? With VAT. Mm-hmm. Wisdom inclusive. Head. It means head with what? Wisdom. When you say VAT exclusive, what do you mean? Amount? So when you say wisdom exclusive head, what do you mean? Head without what? They used to tell us that in the compound. Hey, 100. They used to say that. Wisdom exclusive what? Now listen to this. In the exams, they will give you certain weights so that you can know that what you're dealing with is what. They will mention that the amount is inclusive, or they will simply say what? Gross side. Do you understand? Let me just include that word inclusive, because if I don't include it, somebody will say that the sir didn't tell us. All right. Then when it comes to exclusive amounts, they will say the word what? Netted. The net amount. Remember, net means something is missing, eh? Something has been what? Deducted. That's what it means. Mm-hmm. And then amount before, it means also you're still dealing with what? A VAT exclusive what? Amount. So just imagine we have got a transaction worth 100 kwacha, which is what? VAT inclusive. I think let me correct that. I need to change some things here. We shall say an amount worth 169, so that we are on the safe side, yes. Because when I drop here, I'll write here 116, yeah. I'm supposed to change here. And then here I'll write 100, eh? So that we correct this, yes. So we're saying if the VAT, and we're supposed to say inclusive, huh? Let's just change that one. Inclusive. Meaning amount with what? With VAT. Inclusive. I'll just write like this. Okay? How do you compute VAT in an amount with VAT? Please listen and listen carefully. You will say 116 divided by what? The 16. But on the denominator, don't just put 100. Eh? You should also include what? 16 here. Now, please try it on your calculator. Try it on your calculator. So that we can check whether we are getting the same. Try it on your calculator. Try that on your calculator. How much are you getting? Yena kuma calculators, board mass So please, are you getting 16? Yes, no? Hii mlimetabe 116. Don't trouble yourself. Just write 116. You're getting the same, huh? Yes. Now listen to this. The reason why we have put the 16 is because the amount is what? Inclusive of what? Tax. Now let's convert it into a tax exclusive amount. We say 116 minus what? Gives us how much? And then they ask us again, compute what? Tax. So when they say compute tax in this case, all you need to do is to say 16% of what? 100. What is 16% of 100? 16. What is the key here? Whether you have got an amount with tax or an amount without tax, the tax should be the same. Do you understand that? The tax remains what? The same. Okay, we're going to do more of this when we meet. Oh, it's in writing. Okay. Can you please finish? I'm also getting tired. I think we have gone beyond 10. Eh? What's the time now?
10.
There's some who are doing. Is there anyone who's doing another class here today? MA. No one is doing MA today. No one, eh? No one is doing MA. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to start from here. And don't close your books. Don't close your books. We haven't started the explanations. Tomorrow we start from here. And we go to, I should suspect, inventory, cost of sales. Have you ever heard of cost of sales? Cost of sales and the treatment of what? Mukabwena pathes the finger, 5 what? Fingers. Will they allow you at home? Others put the minimum on the scale. So they know when it starts running fast, say, who is rooting my fridge? So I hope you have done now. You should eat heavy in the morning on Thursdays and Tuesdays especially. Because I think today you may not have a class after this one. Registered traders are supposed to account for value-added tax separately. You have heard that, eh? There's need for what? Separate recording for this type of tax. For registered what? Traders. But for non-registered traders, it is what? What is that word that we don't like? Illegal. Unless you say, it is what? It is what? Illegal. If you're found masquerading, those soldiers, those police officers from the ZRA, they're going to engage the other police. So, so we don't want those stories. No. One of our students was masquerading as a she's saying the scammers. There are so many scammers nowadays. I think I was almost scammed twice. If I had some money in my Airtel money, I could have gone. Somebody claims to say they have sent you what? Money. They have sent you money. Okay? They even send you a message which indicates that there is money that has come to your account. And then they tell you to reverse the what? The transaction. They even say the name on the message. So I tried to do that until I realized to say, you need to check your account before you do that. Eh? Because when you check your account, you find that there is nothing. So if you have got a lot of money, what happens? You realize after you are dead that actually you were what? Scammed. So please, it's an alert. I think Zicta sent a message already, but I don't know if they can help those who don't know how to read. Eh? These messages should not just come in English, eh? Mr. Zefi. A message ya Zicta. Siafunika chape kutuma mchizungu. There must be a deliberate attempt to write in what? In local languages, eh? So that people can be assisted. Just imagine a farmer. Or muntu amena malipira renta, wasungira renti, Airtel money. Then you are scammed like that. There will be serious issues. There will be serious issues. Let's progress. When you have got a VAT inclusive purchase, this is a journal that you're supposed to follow. Very important. The purchases account should be posted with VAT. Remember what we said, right? Assuming VAT is what? 16%. Your purchases account should be posted with how much? I think I need to. Don't I need to change this amount? Let me change some amounts, eh? Because our ground zero is what? 100, eh? So let me change. I'll put 100 there. And here I'll put what? 16. Then here I'll put 116, eh? I'll be okay there, that way? Yes. So assume VAT rate is what? 16%. Can you see that? So when I start posting these videos, I know the complaint that will come back. The videos are too what? Long. Because could be chimwera. When you're following along, there's no one to encourage you. But have you seen what I've done? The purchases account should be posted with the tax exclusive. Then in the VAT control account, we put what? The VAT element. And then payables, gross, or bank. When you buy, you pay everything to the what? To the supplier. You don't tell the supplier, like some of our friends, your VAT I'll go and pay it for you. When the supplier accepts, you'll be acting like a scam in that case. You'll be acting like a scam. Are we done writing? Are we done writing? Not yet. All right. Today is a wonderful day. Can I proceed? Yeah. Oh yes, I'm done very soon. There are just 2 slides remaining. I'm done soon. I think Apamanje. Can I please just change some figures here? So here again we are going to have 116, Then here 100, No, 16. Then here 100, Down here. Where are we going to put the 100? On the sales, Thank you. So 100 is sales. Here 16 is okay? Good. So, somebody has asked for some time. I think we're supposed to start winding up. Please write what you can see. Maybe we should be having a break after an hour. After an hour. You know the attention span? At school, they used to say 45 what? Minutes. Was that true? At school, a period used to take how long at school? Yes. So what I was saying is maybe after 1 hour we can break for 10 minutes. and then come back, isn't it? So that we refresh. Yes. This is the price you're paying for your paper, so that one day somebody will say a degree has got no value. Eh? Now, it's either someone will say that or you yourself will say it. Are you done writing? Okay. But on top there we change. This is a sales journal, isn't it? Sales journal. Okay. In the interest of time, somebody has to refresh a bit. We now conclude with the VAT control account. This is an account that is used to compute VAT payable or receivable from who? Tax authorities. So I'm going to give you some time to write this particular account. Please write what you can see. Write what you can see. Write what you can see. What account? This is the last slide, right? So what? This will be like the longest, one of the longest sessions. So allow me to conclude by just explaining this. If you're brought forward, VAT is on the credit side, it means you owe the government. Do you understand? If the brought forward is right, on the debit, it means the government owes you a refund, right? Next, every time we make sales, we collect on behalf of the government, meaning that our VAT is increasing. Do you understand? But when we buy, we suffer, meaning that this we can claim. It's called refundable input tax. Don't leave these terms to the politicians. Refundable what? Input tax, meaning that the business qualifies to have its what? VAT reduced. You understand? This side we are reducing, this side we are increasing. You understand? Next, again it's the same. When you do these are returns or purchases returns, that will increase how much you owe the government, because you could have demanded for a what? For a refund, for goods returned. And then finally, you also deal with this budget. Sometimes you make a sale and then the customer fails to what? To pay after you have already paid for your what? For your VAT. So government can give you a relief. It is known as bad debt relief. You must prove, you must give them evidence that in actual sense you qualify for this. You have got a tax invoice, right? You made a taxable supply. Then for the return, it's the opposite of sales. When clients return goods, we could have already what? Paid VAT, but they will demand for the full what? Refund. So government must consider. Finally, if the account has got more entries or a higher total this side, then it means you owe the government, right? VAT paid. But if the higher total is this side, the government owes you what? Refunds. So thank you very much for your attention. We meet tomorrow again. You discover that we are actually covering a lot of information. So please don't relax. Go through. Thank you very much.
So what's the difference between VAT and sales tax?
Okay, it's just that's a good question. I think as we are almost closing, we attend to that question. The difference in Zambia, according to the Zambian tax regime, they were saying if they were to bring sales tax, it will just apply on the sales without affecting the what? The purchases. But in the UK, what we call VAT is called what? Sales tax there. So it depends on how a particular country interprets these things. Do you understand that? So if we compare Zambia and UK, there's no difference there. But if we talk about it in Zambia alone, then we say sales tax is only to be collected on sales without affecting what? Expenses. Thank you very much.